You're standing in the moment you used to dream about. The candles are lit. Someone you love is smiling at you. Someone says, "I'm so proud of you," and you smile back, but nothing happens. No warmth spreading through your chest, no tears, no electric feeling of "this is it," just quiet, like watching your own life through a thick pane of glass. You tell yourself you should feel more than this. You waited for this moment. You earned it. So why does it feel like nothing? Here's the question that's going to sit with you for the rest of this video. What if the numbness isn't the problem? What if it's the smartest thing your mind ever learned how to do? And here's a second one. Hold on to it. We're coming back to it. There was a moment once when something good happened and you didn't feel it. Your body went quiet instead of alive. Do you remember it? We're going to find it. This isn't a video about being broken. This is a video about a pattern so common, so quietly widespread that almost nobody talks about it, because on the surface it doesn't look like a problem. You function, you succeed, you show up. From the outside, your life might even look enviable, but inside, happiness feels like a language you learned to read, but never learned to speak. If you've ever achieved something huge and felt a strange emptiness where the joy should be, if you've ever been mid-laugh with people you love and felt part of you watching from a distance, if you've ever thought, "I should feel happier than this is for you." Stay with me, because by the end you're going to understand exactly why your nervous system does this. And it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because once something was very right about you. You just paid for it. Let's talk about what happens in your body when joy arrives and nothing does. Psychologists have a name for it: dampening. The tendency to shrink positive emotion on purpose, often without realizing you're doing it. Some people don't chase happiness, some people brace against it. There's a name for the fear underneath that too: foreboding joy, a term popularized by researcher Brené Brown. It's the belief buried so deep you don't experience it as a belief that joy is dangerous, that feeling it fully is an invitation for it to be taken away. And then there's the nervous system itself. Therapist and researcher Dan Siegel calls it the window of tolerance, the emotional range your body can hold before it pulls a breaker. When emotion spikes past what your body learned was safe, your nervous system doesn't ask whether the spike is good or bad. It only asks, is this too much? If the answer is yes, the breaker trips. That's called a freeze response. You've heard of fight or flight. Freeze is the third option, the one nobody prepares you for, the one that looks, from the outside, exactly like calm. Here's the reframe. Numbness isn't the absence of feeling. Numbness is the presence of protection. It isn't your emotions failing to show up. It's your nervous system successfully doing a job it learned a long time ago in rooms you don't consciously remember, under conditions that had nothing to do with the party, the promotion, or the moment you're standing in now. Your body isn't broken today. It's just still guarding a door that no longer needs guarding. Let's sit in that, because this is where it gets heavy. Somewhere, at some point, joy was not safe. Maybe joy was followed by chaos. You got excited and someone's mood turned, and you learned excitement was the warning before the storm, not the storm itself. Maybe joy was mocked. You showed someone your happiness and they made you small for it, so your mind filed it away in the part that keeps you alive. Don't do that again. Maybe joy was simply never met. You came home glowing with something good and no one looked up. So your body did what bodies do. It adapted. It built a wall between you and the feeling, brick by brick. until the wall became so automatic you stopped noticing it was there. You stopped noticing you are behind glass. Here's the identity conflict underneath everything. There is a version of you who used to feel things at full volume. That child cried at movies, laughed until it hurt, ran toward joy with both arms open. And there is the version of you now, composed, capable, hard to rattle, who feels good news lands somewhere just short of your chest. You didn't lose that child. You buried her to protect her. The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard described anxiety as the dizziness of freedom, the vertigo of sensing how much is actually possible, how much you could feel, how much you could lose. Numbness is what happens when that vertigo gets too loud, too often, too young. You learn to stop looking down. Eventually, you learn to stop looking up too. Say this quietly because it matters. It was never that you couldn't feel joy, it was that feeling it once cost you something you couldn't afford to pay again.
This pattern doesn't stay in childhood, it grows up with you, dressed as a personality. You might be the strong friend, the one everyone calls in a crisis, who never seems to need anything back. That's not just kindness. That's a nervous system that learned it's safer to give than to receive, because receiving means lowering your guard. You might feel more at home in chaos than in calm, a quiet anxiety that shows up on the good days, the easy days, the nothing is wrong days, because your body doesn't trust silence. It's still listening for the storm. You might self-sabotage right when things start going well, starting a fight before the trip, pulling away right after the relationship gets real, because some part of you would rather end the good thing on your own terms than wait for it to be taken. You might over-prepare for disaster, checking your phone for bad news, rehearsing worst-case scenarios before they happen. Not pessimism, forecasting pain simply feels safer than being surprised by it. You might shrink your joy in front of other people, downplaying your wins, saying it's not a big deal about something that meant everything to you. You might intellectualize instead of feel, able to explain your emotions in perfect detail to a therapist, a friend, a camera, but unable to feel them while they're happening. You became fluent in the language of emotion and lost the accent. You might fill your life with motion, productivity, plans, noise, so you're never still enough for joy to catch up with you, because if you're always moving, you never have to sit in the quiet and notice what isn't there. Hear this underneath all of it. None of this is a character flaw. Every one of these is an adaptation. Your mind didn't fail you. It protected you with the tools it had at the age it had them. The tragedy isn't that you built these walls. The tragedy is that nobody ever came back to tell you the storm was over.
So let's tell you now, the storm is over. Healing this doesn't start with forcing yourself to feel more. It starts somewhere quieter than that. Awareness comes first, not fixing, just noticing. Next time something good happens and you feel that familiar flatness, don't panic and don't perform. Just name it silently. I'm bracing right now. That one sentence begins to separate you from the pattern. You are not numb. You are the one who notices it. Inner child work comes next, and stripped of the jargon, it simply means going back, gently, to the version of you who learned joy wasn't safe and giving her what she needed then. Not a lecture, not a fix, presence. You might speak to her directly. You're allowed to feel this now. I've got you. It's safe to come out. Boundaries matter here too, because numbness often isn't only protecting you from your past, it's protecting you from people in your present who still make joy feel dangerous. Sometimes healing means fewer rooms where you have to shrink to be tolerated. Emotional regulation is the practice underneath all of it. Small, unglamorous physical, a longer exhale than inhale. Feeling your feet on the ground while good news is still landing. Letting your body catch up to the moment instead of skipping straight past it. There's a line often attributed to the poet Rumi that fits here better than anything I could write. The wound is where the light enters. Your numbness was never proof you're incapable of joy. It was proof of how much you once felt, so much that your body built a door with a lock on it. But you're the one holding the key now, not the child who needed the lock. You. You are not numb because you're broken. You're numb because once you were so alive the world didn't know what to do with you. So you learned to turn the volume down before anyone else could turn it down for you. That was never a flaw. That was survival, wearing the disguise of calm. And survival was never meant to be a life sentence. If this describes a feeling you've never had words for, don't just watch it and move on. Send it to someone who feels this but has never been able to explain it. Sometimes the most healing sentence in the world is simply, "I think this is me too."